Moving on. Last week, we brought you the story of Mumin Sesler, a Turkish Muslim musician who lives in Israel. Today, we bring you the story of Yinon Muallem, a musician living Sesler's mirrored life. Muallem is from Israel, and he found a warm home in Turkey. Daniel Campos and Ran Schneck met him to give us more insight into his life and music in Turkey.
In 1999, Israeli musician Yinon Muallem went to buy percussion instruments in Turkey. A year later, he went back to learn oud from a master musician. And in 2002, he would go back once again, this time to settle in Turkey, after receiving a warm invitation from local musicians. A decade after moving to Istanbul, beyond the great amount of Turkish musical friendships, Muallem also has a family.
Well, I met my wife in 2008, and after 1 year we had the child, John, and now we have Asya also. So, you know, with the time, Turkey became like home for me. Actually, I have two homes. One of them is Istanbul, one of them in Tel Aviv, because I was born here.
Tel Aviv, Istanbul.
I was impressed that he's living in Turkey and he knows so much about Turkish music. Of course, my family's reaction was, in the beginning, they were in shock. That lasted for a week because they were, first he's a musician, he's from Israel, he's also Jewish. So they were in panic how we were going to get along. My father was going to have a heart attack.
Living in Istanbul in good times and bad times, conducting and hosting intercultural musical projects between Israeli and Turkish musicians.
In time of crisis, I never feel really comfortable because I see what's happening. I feel the energy. If it's in Israel, if it's in Turkey, and if it's between Turkey and Israel or Israel and Turkey. I think that the music is a very good tool to unite people, to bring people together. When people make music, there's no boundaries, there is no, colors of people, there's no religion, there is music, just music.
His last album, titled Offlines, was made in collaboration with Israeli pianist Guy Mintus, and it brings together well-known artists from Israel and Turkey. In the coming months, the artist hopes to publish a new album and a book.
My next album going to be Meeting of Hearts, Sufi and Jewish music. It will be released in March. I have my book, a book called Istanbul, Tel Aviv, which I was working about in the last 8 years.
The timeless energy and effort the artist puts into Turkish-Israeli cultural relations is strengthened by his life partner.
When he was the cultural attaché for a period in Turkey, he even brought an Israeli cook with a Turkish cook together. Not just, so he doesn't do this just in music, he's doing it in, in many different aspects of our life. We are bringing Israel and Turkey together.
Muallem's children are being raised between two cities. But will the dual identity of their children be melodious?
I'm coming myself from mixed culture, and I believe that this is a richness. It's not a... And for them, they have good things from Turkish culture, good things from Israeli culture, and they will find their ways, I think.